So when I said shallow, I meant shallow. We're in about a metre of water. Oh, how's that? That guy, as soon as it hit the water, he was on it. Oh, I got him. That feels like better fish. Oh, yes. I told you I eat surface.
It is an absolute cracker. It is called garlic butter cod. It's that good. It is dead set that good. G'day guys, and welcome to another Sammy Hitzke fishing adventure. This is the bad weather edition. It's been terrible weather all week, haven't had a chance to go offshore, but I still needed my fishing fix. So you might notice behind me, there are some pretty small looking outfits there. I reckon the heaviest braid I've got on the boat today is 8 pound. Everything else is 2, 3 and 4 pound. I've even got some 3 pound straight through fluorocarbon. When you got to scratch the fishing itch, you got to do whatever it takes to get out in the water. So today I'm out in Moreton Bay, up in the shallows, chasing bream on surface, maybe a tailor if we can find one, and fingers crossed, a squid or two as well. Now this is something I used to do an absolute ton of in my early years, so it is nice to get back out here. I'm by myself today, a bit of a solo session, just to reminisce and get back to my roots. Now I reckon if you're going to chase bream, the best way to do it is on surface, so fingers crossed today we can raise a few up and hopefully find one of those big bay bruisers that we used to come out here for. So thanks for tuning in guys, hope you enjoy the episode. Let's get fishing.
So when I said shallow, I meant shallow. We're in about a metre of water. We've got that reefy, weedy bottom here. This is where I'm going to start chucking my surface lures. And I found the bream will sit as close as they possibly can to that edge there. So the closer you can get it, the better. Now, just like old days, I got 3 rods ready to rock and roll. I got a shallow diving crank. That's a little shallow jackal chubby. I've got a squid jig, because quite often the squid will sit up there as well and they'll follow out a surface lure. You can just pitch them a squid jig, good way to get a feed. And I've got one of my favourites, the MMD splash prawn, ready to go. Now, I think the heaviest rod here, these are all kind of 2 to 4s, 1 to 3. This guy here is rated 3 to 6, but it's an 8 foot rod, so it's more of a 2 to 4 than anything. And yeah, let's start casting. Now I just leave these rods here ready to rock and roll so I can grab them whenever I need. Yes! Haha! Oh, it's all coming back to me now. All coming back to me. I literally cut my teeth doing this back in the day when I bought my very first boat. This was the next frontier out in the Bay Islands, chasing bream on surface. You could only go out here on the best of weather. Only had a 3.8 flat bottom, and you could only come out here on the best of weather. And I'll tell you what, we used to have an absolute ball chasing bream on surface, tailor, snapper, all sorts of fun stuff. Nice little bream here. Just do the old landing lift. And there you have it, bay bream #1. Oh, I absolutely love this visual style of fishing. And when the weather is so bad offshore and you want to go get a fishing fix, I reckon there's no better way to do it than this. Crunch that little splash prawn off the top, bang, and we're on the board. I love it when a secondary plan comes together. I love it when plan B comes together. Nice little solo sesh. And we're on the board. Big release, these are nice. Rim maybe 30 something, maybe 31, 32. See you mate. And off he goes. Oh, how's that? That guy, as soon as it hit the water, he was on it. It doesn't feel real big, but he came out. Oh, he's got mates with him too. There might be a few fish. It actually looks like there's a bit of a like a back kind of bay here, and these fish might be waiting to push up in there. Yeah, he's only tiny. Ha, how good is that? Oh, sorry mate. There we go, bream number 2 is only a little tacker, but he crushed it. He was on it as soon as it hit the water. That was cool. He boiled it once, missed, and then came back and got it the second time. Fat fish for the size. He's been in the good pasture. See you, mate. Oh, there's a bit of man juice on me hand. They are that time of the year, I think. Let's see if we can't do that again. Now, thing with these bay bream, because this water is crystal clear, they often sit in big schools. So you might come across and you'll get absolutely pack attacked. I know it feels funny saying that about bream, not GTs or kingies or something like that, but they are pretty cluey. They're like canal bream. Once you spike one out of the crew, they seem to be pretty hesitant to go again. Oh, I got him. That feels like a better fish. Oh yes. So these bream do all sorts of different types of hits. That guy just came roaring up beside it, behind it, and just slurped it, one go. Like other times they'll come and boil it. This guy, he feels like a fair fish too. He came and just sipped it straight from behind. He didn't muck around. He knew what he was doing. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, he's a nice bream. He's a nice bream. Come here, mate. Come here. Oh, yep. The old comfort lift. The bream comfort lift. Tell you what. Oh, come on. If you're fishing a comp, you'd be pretty happy. That's another nice one. There you go. Another nice fish. Real dark coloration on these ones. Hiding in that weed. Not on the sand flats like we usually see them, where they're bright silver. These guys are hiding, they're camouflaged, just waiting for little prawns and bits of bait to come through. Look at the black tail on him. Splash prawn. It's taken some names this morning. Righto, mate. Catch you later. Off he goes. There's definitely a concentration of them here. That's 3 I've pulled from this little area. Wonder if I can get number 4. Oh, there's a boil. Now, this is it's similar to a cup-faced popper, this splash prawn, so I'm fishing it in little jerky retrieves. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but as opposed to a walk the dog where you go tunk, 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 this one spits forward like a prawn. It's a very natural looking lure, which is why I think it's very, very effective. And I'm chucking in some pauses there too, but right up in the shallow stuff, those fish, they are raring to go. They're feeding, they're looking for bait fish. So I like to kind of, oh, wind knot, beautiful. Back in the game. That was an ordeal. That was an ordeal. Anyway, what I was saying was that, what I was saying, I don't know, I can't even remember anymore. The bream right up in the shallows, they will just annihilate anything but they like it moving a bit quicker, whereas once you move out a bit, that's when I bring the pauses and the stereotypical brim retrieve back into play. Anyway, that's what I found works. Or what's that? Is that a squid? Oh, there's a squid. There's a squid. I think. I thought it was a squid. Oh, it looks like rain. Well guys, sorry, I just released a small one because I thought I was recording and I was not. So don't worry, it was the smallest of the day. Oh, there's another one. Oh, come on. There's another one behind it here. Oh, come on. Got him. Oh, no. No, very next cast. That would have been good. That was another twitch slurp. The one that I just released for was only a tacker, but he had about 6 or 7 goes at it before he ate it properly. He was super keen. Just execution was very low. Another thing I've found is fish will be in patches. So you might work 100 metres of bank for nothing, and then you'll find all the life in 10 metres or 20 metres. And then nothing again. So it does pay to cover a bit of ground. Obviously don't miss fishy looking areas, but if you're not getting much life, keep moving. Oh, there's a little fella. There's a little fella. There's a little fella. Tiny little sips. Tiny little sips. Now, quite often, if there is a school of them, the whole school will come out with you. So if you've got a mate fishing with you, you can often get a double up. And I recommend you at least have a crack, because you probably won't get another bite out of that school if they're not super in the mood. Oh, that back camera's covered in rain. Hopefully this one's not. Pinned him that last hook. I've got that last treble double ringed as well, just so it sits a bit lower. There's a nice little brim. He's only a little tacker obviously, but he ate the surface. Get out of it. See you, mate. And that's the main thing. Ideally what you want is the clouds, all the clouds, none of the rain. Oh, I'm on. Oh dear. Got a wind knot and I'm on. He's only a small fish, thank goodness. I didn't even work that lure. He just ate it off the top, stationary, while I was trying to undo a wind knot. I heard the kiss. Oh, that's probably a bad representation of what it sounds like, but that's still pretty cool. Didn't even have to work it. Another little tack up. Thank you. Righto. Got that wind knot. We're back in the game. Nothing kills your confidence more than having a big wind knot in the line. Now while you're doing it, it definitely pays to keep your eyes open, because these squid, the ones that we get up here in the shallows, they're usually big tiger squid and they're quite aggressive. They'll quite often follow your surface lure in or even try and eat it. So keep your wits about it. You would have heard me say there's a squid behind it earlier this morning. Didn't actually get eyes on him. Is it too dark? It's too dark to actually see it. But and I didn't manage to convert him, but that was textbook what squid do. Tell you what, you come out here on a day where the sun is shining, the water is as clear as it is at the moment, and you could be mistaken for thinking you are at some fancy island in the middle of nowhere somewhere chasing bonefish, something like that. It is pretty special to have areas like this on our doorstep. Just replace the bonefish and permit and GTs with bream. Oh, got him. Oh, he doesn't look too bad. He's not happy about it. He is not happy about it. See guys, why would you pay all those big dollars to go chase bonefish? You don't need them. We've got bream. Bream on surface. Not even big bream on surface. He looked alright, but he made a liar out of me. Well guys, it's pretty miserable with the rain, but we're clocking up some nice fish. This guy, another smallie. You see the rain on the lens. It's still raining, but we're having fun. It's better than being at home. It's better than not going fishing, that's for sure. I would like to find a few big dogs. This guy is definitely not one of them, but I think it's pretty safe to say if we were fishing a bream comp, we'd have our bag, so the pressure would be well and truly off, and it'd be upgrade time. Like a bream comp, I'm pretty keen to upgrade. Hopefully we find some big ones or some big squid. That would be the dream. Another cool thing about these Bay Islands, and it is exactly what I'm taking advantage of today. It's obviously being an island, you can always get out of the wind somewhere. There's always a side that's got protection. So you can tuck in out of the weather, have a fish, get your fix without getting belted. Oh, little fella, I think. It's not a little fella, he sipped it like one. First swirl. I was trying to work my lure. It's another important thing. While you are doing this, don't stop working your lure until they eat it. A lot of people get excited and try and strike it out of the way. I'm very guilty of that in the past as well, but if you can just continue to work your lure as if you normally would without a fish behind it, they are a lot more likely to get hooked, and if they don't, they're a lot more likely to keep going after it. You strike it out of the way and they usually run for the hills. Geez, a lot of little fish around. A lot of little fish. Not complaining, it's all good fun. Better than nothing, but still would like one of those big bay bruisers. Oh, that was a swirl. Good fish. What? Oh, it's a squid. There you go. It is a squid. I told you I eat surface. You want to go nice and light on them. I definitely want this guy and about 5 or 6 of his mates. Oh, point away from face. In the net, you little ripper. There you go, guys. It is a tiger squid on surface. They are aggressive little guys, and they will happily eat a surface lure given the chance. How good is that? There we go. Nice squid. Beauty. Chuck him in a live well. Come on. Oh, that's I think it's a long tom. Saw a big marlin bill come out. Struth. It's not a long tom, it's a good fish. I also have my drag undone. From the squid. I did forget about that. Oh, he's alright. He has mates with him too. There might be a few fish here. In the boat. Alright, that's a bit better. There you go, slightly better fish. There's a few fish in there. It's a long tom, all sorts going on. But this guy crunched it. A bit better quality. Still need to find that big bruiser. Alright mate, see you later. There's a squid. Got him. Surely that's not the squid. I tried to go. There you go. Squid number 2. Thank you for coming. Oh, I got another one. Yes, I thought there was a bigger one there. I don't think this guy's massive, but better than that other one. Might have found a patch of squiddly dids here. Yes, big on ink. Can net this guy. That's 3 squid. That makes me happy. Happy Sam. Haven't had a feed of fresh squid in a little while. Excuse me. Let's see if there's any more there. The rain has stopped long enough to put the Polaroids on. That is a good thing for this style of fishing. Good pair of sunglasses, and you can see fish, you can see squid, you can see structure. It's a lot more enjoyable when you can see. No glasses, you're pretty well just looking at glare and waiting for surface disturbances, which is fine, but if you're out here doing it, you may as well do it properly. These guys, tiny. But it's been a while between brimbos, I'll tell you that much. Nice change of pace between squid. Oh, it's actually not that bad. Probably too big to do this with, but we got him anyway. Well, first bream in a little while. Gone off the chew a bit, that's alright. The squid have been there to keep me company, so definitely not complaining. Another chunky, fat fish. That's going to require some pliers. Around this time of the year, they're gearing up to spawn, so they're feeding up and putting on size and condition. So the quality might not be there, but the condition is. See you, mate. Well guys, caught a stack of bream, got some nice squid, and now the weather looks to be closing in again. I feel like I've had my fun. Good little morning session, but I feel like I could go without getting rained on. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, just scoffed a bit of pizza. But I don't reckon we should call the video just yet. I reckon we should have a cook-up. We haven't had a cook-up for a couple of weeks, and I've still got a fillet of that barcode that I got last week with Shauno. And I tell you what, that stuff is absolutely phenomenal on the plate. And I reckon we have a cook-up, because I've got a wicked little recipe for fancy fish and chips. Now guys, if you ever want to impress someone with your culinary expertise, this would be an absolute cracker to do it with. It looks super fancy, it's not that hard, and the end result is absolutely awesome. And again, like most of my recipes, you don't have to do it just on barcode, you can do it on just about anything. But oh, it's starting to rain. I've been precipitated on enough already today. It's been moister than an oyster all morning, and I reckon we call it quits, go home, get warm, start some cooking. Righto guys, I'm gonna fire it back to the ramp. Let's do it. Righto guys, it is that time of the video. We are having a good old fashioned cook up. I've got a wet ass all morning, but I'm keen for something tasty and warm for lunch, and what better thing to have than fancy fish and chips. Now I call it fancy because it ends up looking fancy, but it's still dead easy to do, but there is a few steps involved, so make sure you keep up, don't skip any, and we're all gonna have a tasty feed at the end. Now, for those who have already cracked a beer, this is the time of the video where I get to join you. Anyone with a Sammy Hitzke bottle opener, now's the time to crack a freshie. Cheers guys. You will need probably 2 or 3 beers if you're going to be cooking this at home. There is a bit of time involved, it's a bit time expensive, but the end result is absolutely awesome. Now, this recipe is not my own, I did not make it, but full credit does go to Shauno, who put me onto it. He didn't make it either, but he sent me the link to it, so I guess Shauno gets the credit. It is an absolute cracker. It is called garlic butter cod. Now, you could do it with snapper, you could do it with just about any reef fish,
but I'm using bar cod. Now Sean and I harped on about just how good bar cod was to eat, and I've been eating it all week. It is absolutely phenomenal. I've got one fillet left, and I saved that just to show you guys how to cook this recipe up. It is an absolute ball terror. So guys, let's get cracking now. Like all good recipes, bit of prep will save you a lot of time in the long run. The first thing you want to do is turn your oven on. 200 degrees, fan forced is what you want, and that's going to be for our chips and eventually the fish. Yes, you heard correctly. Bit of oven baking, but there's a few other steps involved first. Righto, so we're going to kick it off with our chips. Now I've got a washed red potato, cut it up into discs about 1 centimetre thick, like so. And to speed up the whole process, we're going to bung them in a microwave safe dish with a bit of water, and you want to just nuke them until they are nice and soft. That's just going to cut like half an hour off your roasting time, so it's a good hot tip. Now I don't know much about microwaves, but it takes about 9 minutes in mine, so if you've got some industrial one, probably less. If not, probably more. But in the meantime, you don't have to do too much just yet. The chips are the things that take the longest, so once they're in the oven, then you can start prepping your cod. In the meantime, you better get cracking on that first or second, third, one of these ones. Feel like I earned it this morning anyway. It was wet, it was cold, but we stuck it out, we got some nice fish. I think I might be dabbling in a few squid for tea as well. I'm going to have a seafood smorgasbord. I didn't have any seafood for breakfast, I had cold pizza. But seafood for lunch, squid, maybe a bit of fish. I do have a bit of leftover ornate jobfish that I might chuck on the pan as well tonight to go with the squid. Mwah. Anyways, 7 minutes left. Let's let it ride. Rightio, those cheeky rascals are done. You'll know they're done because you can stick a fork in them pretty easy. Be careful, they will be deathly hot. Now we move on to stage 2 of homemade chippery. So what we want to do is chuck them on an oven tray. Here is the crucial part. Grab the same fork that you used to test it and just mash the potatoes. You're going to need a knife as well. Mash the potatoes, or squash them I should say. You want to squash them. Now the rougher and more jagged you can make them, the better, because they're all going to turn super crispy. And at the end of the day, a crisp chip is a good chip. Now, crack of salt. If you were that way inclined, you could also use chicken salt right about now, but because we're doing fancy fish and chips, just your Himalayan rock salt is just fine. Now, you can also use normal olive oil if you don't have any of this. I like the spray stuff because you get better coverage over your chip. The more you can cover, the better. It just makes it all go crispier. This makes a bit of a mess, so either do it outside or do this. Give it a good douse, then straight in the oven. Now that will take about 20 to 30 minutes depending on how hot your oven is, how thick your potatoes are, how long you microwave them for, etc, etc, etc. Just keep on checking them. After 20 minutes, go have a bo peep. When they start looking crispy and crunchy, give them another 5 minutes or so and they should be ready to rock and roll. You're looking for that brown coloration. You know what a hot chip looks like when it's nice and crispy. Look for that in the oven. Now we can start attacking that fish. Right, I jumped the gun a little bit. We're not going to attack the fish just yet. We've got a little bit of a garlic butter mixture that we're going to put on top of the fish. And we need to do that first. All this stuff just goes straight into a bowl and then we mix it all up. So we start with about 1/4 cup of cooking butter. Like so. I never said it was healthy, but it does taste good. Now put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds. You just want to soften it up so you can stir it through. Now while you're softening your butter, it is a good time to cut some bacon up really finely and chuck it in a pan. I use about 2 rashers. Now first of all, we want to start with some parsley, not coriander. Don't put coriander in it or we'll disown you. You want to put 1.5 tablespoons
or close enough to, of parsley. It's about half one of these packets if you're going to do it the easy way. Next up, we've got minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic, of course, but ain't nobody got time for that. I just put one heaped little kitchen spoon like that in. I like garlic, so the more the merrier for me. Next one on the chopping board is minced shallots. Now, I didn't know what a shallot was. I thought they were spring onions, but it turns out they're two different things. They're pretty well a brown, kind of egg-shaped onion. They're smaller than a normal big onion, so you can find them at Coles and Woolies. They're not a big secret, just turns out I was an idiot. You want 2 teaspoons of that in there. You just want to peel those and cut them nice and finely like I've done there. Next up, Dijon mustard, small spoonful. Said small. Easy there, fella. That'll do. Next up, you want to put a tablespoon of flour in, or in this case, almond meal. Whole tablespoon of that. Want to juice 1 lemon. Now, use one of these things because it takes all the little pits out. You don't want to be eating them. That goes in as well. Might look pretty weird and wonderful at the moment, but trust me, it comes out like that. Good old crack of salt and pepper. And by that stage, your little bacon pieces, they should be nice and crispy. Oh, and jumping out of the pan. Put those in as well. Now grab that little spoon you're using and mix it all together. Now, uncooked, this stuff looks absolutely rank. It looks pretty feral. It's green, it's kind of sloppy, but its time will come. Its time will come. Now, for everyone who's going, geez, it looks pretty complicated, that's all the hard stuff done. We are pretty well on the home stretch and we can attack our fish now. There's like 2 steps left. If you have taken a bit of time, check your chips, see how they're going, and you can adjust the temperature. If they're coming home strong, then you can turn the temperature down a bit so you don't burn them. You also want to chuck a frying pan on the heat here and get that preheating so we can give our fish a little bit of love. That is a beautiful fillet of bar cod, beautiful white flesh, and I tell you what, I've eaten some already, there's no doubt about that. I ate it actually 3 times already this week. I reckon it is on par, if not better than pearl perch. So if that's not an incentive to get out there and give it a crack, I don't know what is. Obviously, take the pin bones out. Then I like to split the fillet in half and cut it into like steaks. Bit of salt on the fish, and straight into the hot pan. Now this is critical. You do not want to cook your piece of fish the whole way through. You just want to sear each side. Obviously the pan's really hot, so about a minute each side should be fine. And while that's happening, grab yourself another baking tray and some baking paper and just line it, ready to receive the fish. Righto, that second side is done. Now put the fish in that baking tray. It should look pretty much like a seared piece of tuna. Time to introduce this mixture to the top of the fish. So you want to spoon it on there, nice and thick. I should mention that the amount that we've done here is probably enough to do enough fish for 2 people. If you're doing it for guests, then you might want to up it a bit more, and it should look something like this. Now, if you want to go the full 9 yards, sprinkle a bit of parmesan on top, just a dusting. And we are ready to hit the oven. Now I like to chuck it on the top tray of the oven so it gets nice and close to the heating elements, and that helps crispy the top up a bit. Now that should take no longer than about 5 minutes. I like to jack the oven up to about 240 so it gets that top section that, I don't even know what you're meant to call that stuff on top. The crust, I guess, nice and crispy, makes that parmesan crisp up and brown up as well. Just enough time to get another one of these ones. What a catch! What a catch! Probably should get a plate out or something. Our chips are done. Fish time. Oh yes. Ow, that's hot, but yes, yes, yes. Now, if you've got guests over that you're cooking this for, they should be able to
sniff that aroma and pretty well know that you're a legend in the kitchen. If you're just cooking it for your significant other, then they should be absolutely kissing your feet by now. And now would be the perfect time to let them know that they can clean up all the mess you've made. If it looks anything like my kitchen, yeah, there's got a bit of work ahead of them, but the results are worth it. Grab your spatchy spatch. Oh. Get under it. I'm getting messages on set, that's a carton. Pick the primest bits for yourself. Now you'll be able to see all the goodness that's come off the fish and is in the bottom of the tray. You don't want to waste that. That's all flavour, buttery goodness. You want to grab a spoon and spoon that on top of your fish. Actually, I don't know if you can call it spooning. This is the cooking game we're in. Let's call it a drizzle. Little drizz. Obviously, the artiste within can do a bit better on the plating side of things. I'm not too fussed. This is just for me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to attack this for the all-important taste test, but let's have a fair go at the chips. Don't know if you saw that bit that just went flying over there. How's that for a bit of crunch? I reckon they taste better than your regular hot chip too. And you do it yourself. Sorry for talking with my mouth open. Now, the cod, that should just flake apart. I don't worry. That is beautifully cooked. See the steam coming off that? Unreal. It really is exceptional. Now that juicy, delicate flavour of the fish mixed with the lemon and the butter and the saltiness of the bacon and all the other ingredients in that butter mixture absolutely works a treat. It is a very, very special, probably one of my tastiest recipes to date. Now, I know I've done a few of them and I'll probably say the exact same thing with all of them, but this one is really, really good gear. So if you are looking to impress some people, definitely give this one a crack. It is top notch. Shout out to Shauno for telling me to try it. I tried it and then had it for 3 nights in a row at my house. This would be meal number 4, so it's that good. It is dead set that good. Guys, on that note, we are going to call an end to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We went from bar cod one week to bream the week after, back to bar cod in the same episode. What an absolute roller coaster. Glad you guys can join us. If you did like or learn something, please like the video. Leave us a comment below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. There is new fishing videos coming every single week. If you're chasing some Sammy Hitzke fishing merch, you can do so on my website, sammyhitzkefishing.com. We've got hats, we've got some lucky banana bottle openers, all the rest are sold out, sorry. I think we still do have a couple of key rings there, so if you're chasing one of them, make sure you get on there quick. Until next week, guys, hope you're having a good time out in the water, hope you're getting a few fish. I'll catch you next week for another Sammy Hitzke fishing adventure. Cheers, guys, have a good one.